shots later. That way when you're sanding, the pattern that's left behind, because you're essentially putting a bunch of scratches in the paint with this, aren't we? That's all we're doing. You want those as uniform and smooth as possible, so when you go to take those out, your job is very easy, okay? So if this is very uniform, and I happen to be, anybody work in a shop here, or been to a body shop? How clean are those environments?
It depends on who's in.
Let's go 99% of them. Let's
Most
see.
of them are not real clean.
If we're working in a bucket, which many of them do, how clean are these buckets traditionally that they're working out of the shops? You can't even see the bottom traditionally. So here we are with a highly precise piece of paper, and we're working out of a bucket with water. What are we pulling up out of this bucket? What is that going to do for that uniform sanding pattern? Ruin it. It's going to put huge gouges. So then when you come back and you're trying to polish out all these marks, you get really frustrated because you're still trying to get these big scratches out. Then all of a sudden you press harder, you turn the speed up, you start tilting it on edge, and you really start going the other direction. You're creating a real big mess. So clean water supply, there's no dirt in here. A little bit of soap for lubricity. That's what we make Double Zero, high-tech wash for. In the mirror glaze line, very low sudsing product. This is exactly what it's designed for. Okay? We're not even going to bother to measure this tonight. Okay? We're just going to start sanding. Again, we're not showing you how to do everything, just giving you some tips. So let's go ahead and squeegee this off to make sure there's no particulates on here. And notice we're going to go in really uniform, smooth, one direction. And we're putting even pressure on here. Not hard. We're not grinding away. We're letting the paper do the work. Anybody want to see all that white coming off there? For those of you who know what that is, please don't answer, but what do you guys think that is coming off of there? Anybody want to guess? See? That's clear coat.
Clear coat.
We're actually just slowly removing that clear coat. You know, taking it off and taking it off. It's a good thing. We'll go about 8 to 10 strokes. Let's dry this off and check our progress. What do you see? Scratches? A lot of scratches. Again, all we're really doing is we're putting a bunch of scratches in there because we're removing material. But because we know what the paper is, because we know what it's designed, and we know how precise they are, they're very uniform, super fine scratches that we need to remove. We know it's not going to be a polishing pad. We know it's not going to be a foam cutting pad. Those are great for oxidation. Those are great when we're sanding. 99% of the time we're going to go straight to a wool pad. So I'm going to grab that wool pad and I'm going to get my pad cleaner because see all this on here? Feel that. Tell me what that feels like. Feel that, guys? When I want to start rubbing that on the finish, that's contaminated pad. Imagine if you were working by hand with a foam applicator and you had a bunch of dried hard and you start rubbing, what's going to happen? Scratches. So we don't want to do this on either. They make all different kinds of pad cleaners on the market, from spurs to air. This happens to be and I apologize for not everybody. Much cleaner. That pad's been sitting there for quite a while there too. Okay. So
That's part of working clean.
Working very clean all the time. Okay? If M85 and M84 are our two compounds, and M85 is the most aggressive product we make, which one am I going to want to start with here? M84, least aggressive. Absolutely. Now, unlike the DA, where you lay onto the DA and turn around, once you get real good at this, it's truly designed to lay down and you begin to pick it up with the machine. We're going to put a little material down. On the speed here, we don't recommend anything over about 2,000. Certainly this machine goes to 3,000 RPMs, but I believe you were saying that heat is generated as a byproduct of friction. If you turn the clock back to really early days of paint, like lacquers, nitrocellulose, acrylics, they liked heat. You were able to almost what's called reflow them with heat. But because today's finishes are catalyzed, heat is actually bad for these. You can generate a lot of bad things by getting too hot. So some of these guys we talked to, they've been doing it for a long time. Oh, 3,000, and you get hot loud. Not good. They're not good. 2,000 max. So we're going to turn it down about 1,800. Give it a little bit of whirl there. And what we're doing is just moderate pressure to begin with on the first couple of passes. Then you lighten up, you're just starting to polish. Let's inspect that to see if that's even the right product to be used. What we're looking for is not the removal of, or excuse me, not swirl marks, but we're looking for the removal of these sanding scratches right now. So you guys tell us what you see. What's that? Absolutely. Ah! No, go ahead. Put your hand on it.
That's what I heard, like the thing is the heat, but it's warm.
Oh yeah,
Hot,
dude.
warm.
Warm, but not hot.
Oh.
That's pressure,
Yeah.
that's speed, that's everything in between it. What do we see as far as the sanding scratches?
They're gone.
Okay, they're gone.
Yes, they're gone.
Describe diminishing abrasives.
They start off as a larger particle in suspension in the chemical, and as you work it, they break down, become finer and finer abrasives as you go.
Okay? All of our products, that's correct. All of our products from Scratch X all the way up to our most aggressive compounds will do that. The reason I want to talk about that is I'm going to work this a couple more passes here. I'm not going to add any more product to this pad. What do you think is going to happen if I work this a little bit longer because of diminishing abrasives?
Polish out and follow. It'll start taking out.
It's going to start to get a little bit shinier, okay? So let's light pressure here. Notice the way you can see. Still a little bit of a film on there, and that's what we want to watch for. You never want to buff dry, but as we can see now, what's taking place. What's happening?
Big difference. Gloss.
And again, what's causing that? Start working all over the place and they're in a hurry. They're working really fast. Well, they're left with swirl marks everywhere. So if you're going to polish, that next step is to polish. Would you guys rather polish on swirls like this or really light, faint swirls over here? What's going to be easier to work on?
The real light things.
Yeah. So slow down a little bit. Let's do one more little pass here.
Sometimes by going slower, you actually go faster.
That's exactly right. Okay, next pad here, we're going to switch to a polish. We've done all the cutting. This would be representative of a Scratch X. This would be representative of maybe, what's that? Deep Crystal Paint Cleaner, step number 1. You've cleaned the surface. Now we're going to polish. Remove the swirls, get it ready for protection, okay? Am I going to want to use the cutting pad for this? Why not? Don't need it.
Too aggressive.
Too aggressive, okay? Which one of these do you think we should try? Probably either one at this stage of the game. It all depends on how bad these swirls are, you know. Yellow one tends to be a much more popular product, just like how many of you use this on a DA? Versus
For different things, I tend to use the yellow one for polishing
and that
the
for
tan
final
one
waxing.
exactly.
Okay? So with that said, because you're doing some polishing of swirls, light swirls, let's jump into this one. Okay?